CTV News with Jack Morse.
Growing concerns from businesses about increased drug use in the town of Midland. Thank you for joining us. Concerns about drug addiction and homelessness are on the rise in Midland, and with it, fears about crime and violence. Tonight, businesses are speaking out to the damage on their bottom line. Here's CTV's Luke Smart.
More and more often, businesses say this is a common and frightening scene in Midland's downtown core. Some owners considering picking up shop.
They actually locked the door in between clients as there was a few homeless people around. So it's just getting very much out of hand at the moment, and we're thinking of, we're locking our doors as well.
This alley adjacent to the guest house shelter is where the owner of Panache Spa and Academy says most of the incidents have been happening. She says from fights to drug use, the impact is starting to affect their bottom line.
And it is getting quite serious now, and the hairdressers at the back, if they decide to leave, then it's really detrimental to my business. And I'm just hoping that things can be solved a little better for everybody.
People's general awareness of homelessness and addiction and mental health issues have really been raised over the course of the summer with some of the activity that's happened in Barrie with the encampment clearing and all the notoriety and news around it.
The solution, a complex one. The impact of addiction front and center in many municipalities, but the mayor says it's actually improving.
There is always that omnipresent issue that yes, we have a homeless shelter, and yes, we have people experiencing homelessness, and we have residents who may look like they're homeless, but they're not, who frequent the downtown core.
Reiterating that municipal governments cannot build infrastructure needed to help with homelessness.
We don't build housing, nor do we have any jurisdiction or funding for the social service nets that are all part of what the county delivers with provincial money. However, that being said, we're not unsympathetic. We're certainly not in any type of denial that these problems exist, and we work closely with the county and their service providers.
In a statement to CTV News, the guest house has said they have not seen an increase in individuals at their shelter since the state of emergency was declared in Barrie on September 9th. And the shelter has chosen not to hand out harm reduction kits, noticing a reduction in the number of people openly using in the parking lot across from the shelter. The County of Simcoe has confirmed that they have funded 26 beds in the town of Midland, with plans to expand shelter spaces as winter approaches. Luke Samard, CTV News, Midland.
Meanwhile, as communities across Simcoe County grapple with growing homelessness issues and pressures on our healthcare system are also mounting province-wide. Hospitals say they need another $1 billion this year just to keep up with population growth and inflation. The Ontario Hospital Association says hospitals face massive collective deficit, $360 million last year alone. The $1.1 billion promised by the provincial government in the spring budget is only half of what they need. Now, we know we need healthcare workers in our region, doctors, nurses, and all kinds of specialists. So do local hospitals. That's why they're looking a little further from home. CTV's Rob Cooper reports.
Several local hospitals teamed up to hold a job fair in Vaughan today in an effort to attract healthcare professionals to the county. It's a competitive market right now, and the potential employees know it. Dean Armstrong lives in St. Catharines and is looking for work and is willing to move for it.
Full-time. I've been a nurse for a little over 20 years now. I do have ties to the area. I went to Georgian College in Barrie. I have friends in Collingwood. I have worked in Wasaga Beach as a nurse, so I have ties to the area.
Collingwood is growing. The new hospital is going to be there in a few years, and we are expanding opportunities to work there.
Collingwood General and Marine Hospital, Georgian Bay General Hospital, Headwaters Healthcare Centre, and Waypoint Centre for Mental Health all had booths at the job fair.
Trying to sell the idea of slowing life down a little bit, taking a step back, living where you love and working where you love.
I have just done my certification of PSW, and I just want to start my career in that field. So that's why I just came here to apply that job.
Most of the hospitals are either expanding or preparing to grow in the coming years, and expanding its roster of qualified staff is a top priority. Healthwaters Healthcare Centre in Orangeville serves over 140,000 residents with 800 staff, including 200 physicians.
We're selling the job, we're selling the area of the great amenities that we have in a small town called Orangeville, Ontario.
The hospitals say they're still looking to fill all kinds of positions at all levels, including full-time, part-time, even casual. Today's job fair was a one-day event, but if you're looking for employment, try contacting the hospital directly. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Vaughan.
Now, Casey Colby is here with our first look at weather. And Casey, that's a look you've got on.
Well, I came in dressed in my usual clothes, and our wardrobe department grabbed me, ripped the clothes off me, and dressed me up like this. Is there a game on tonight? I kind of think there might be. More on that coming up a little later on. How about the sunshine? Perfect weather for baseball just about anywhere. Let's take a look. First look at the forecast, brought to you by our friends at Presler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE. 11 degrees out here. Yes, 11. 11, that's kind of cool, but not really. It's right around where we should be this time of year. Winds are out of the north, 15 kilometers an hour. Let's find out the temperature around your region. 9 degrees in Collingwood right now. That's the coolest spot in more ways than one, right? 13 degrees in Parry Sound. Looks like 13 in Toronto. 11 degrees in Alliston, Newmarket, and 11 in Mount Forest. This is a quick look at the radar satellite images, and well, there's not much to look at in our region. Over at City of Kawartha Lakes, looks like they still have some remnants of a little shower activity from the north, but we're looking good. Clearing skies. Coming up just a few minutes' time, it's time for a run, Jack. A sun run. I'll let you know how long it lasts. All that coming up in a few minutes' time. Back inside.
Well, Casey, you look like you're ready to run out there right now. An Orillia area financial advisor faced a regulatory hearing today after admitting to serious wrongdoing. CTV's Mike Arsaelides has more on what he revealed about his legal troubles.
Claiming to have no money to retain a lawyer for his regulatory proceedings because his assets have been frozen, Kevin Dowse explained the predicament he finds himself in after being convicted of investment fraud totaling about $1.8 million. The financial advisor appeared before a hearing panel of the Canadian Investment Regulatory Organization, known as CIRO, to describe the issues he's facing since being charged by police earlier this year following a 16-month investigation. The hearing is held under the mutual fund dealer rules concerning allegations Dowse misappropriated or otherwise failed to account for monies that he obtained from clients and other individuals and failed to cooperate with a CIRO investigation. Dowse told the panel he's been unable to communicate with CIRO without counsel. I have been referred to a lawyer, he said. I just need to make sure the money is there to retain them. And that, of course, comes from my family because I don't have anything. Adding, there is so much that I want to get to you so that you know what has happened here. Clients told CTV News they thought Dowse, who worked for a now-defunct Orillia-based company known as Wealth Inc., was investing their money. One of his victims, the court heard, was a woman battling cancer who wrote Dowse a $145,000 check, losing all her money. She passed away a week prior to Dowse's arrest. A Barrie court heard Dowse asked his clients to write him checks he deposited in his personal account rather than investing it for them between 2016 and 2023. The 41-year-old from the Orillia area was charged with defrauding the public of funds over $5,000 and 11 counts of uttering a forged document. He pleaded guilty last month and also faces civil lawsuits involving former clients and his former employer. Dowse asked the panel today whether Wealth Inc. or its CEO have any proceedings with CIRO. The hearing chair told Dowse his question was likely not an appropriate one to ask at this stage. Dowse's next hearing before the regulatory panel is scheduled for next week. His criminal proceedings continue early in the new year with sentencing submissions. Mike Arsaelides, CTV News, Orillia.
A North Bay man is facing multiple charges following a human trafficking investigation that began in Barrie last November. This is 33-year-old Marcus Clark. He was taken into custody yesterday. Firearms, drugs, and money were seized during that arrest. He's charged with human trafficking, assault with a weapon, uttering threats, and several drug and weapons offenses. Police say they believe there may be more victims and are urging them to come forward. Barrie police are looking for suspects in an alleged armed robbery. It happened yesterday near Innisdale Secondary School, prompting a lockdown. Officers say the lockdown was a precaution and no suspects were found inside. A male student did suffer minor injuries from an unidentified weapon, and 4 students were arrested and questioned but have since been released. That police investigation remains ongoing. A driver is lucky to be alive after her pickup truck plunged into the Severn River in Ramera Township. Emergency crews were called to the scene at Rama Road near Somerset Drive late yesterday morning. They say the truck went down an embankment, not over the bridge, and ended up submerged in the water underneath it. The woman behind the wheel managed to escape and swim to safety before crews arrived. A stretch of Killarney Beach Road in Innisfil is closed today. This is a section between 20th Side Road and Church Drive. It'll be blocked off until mid-December. It's undergoing upgrades as part of a $6.5 million urbanization project. Work should wrap up by late next year, but in the meantime, locals can expect detours. The Battle of the Bronx continues. The Blue Jays have another chance to clinch the ALDS after a tough loss to the Yankees last night. CTV's Sean Leathong's at Yankee Stadium in New York City. Sean, you were there last night. Tell me about how it felt to be in the stadium.
Well, it was a tale of two different stadiums last night, really. For the first 3 innings, the Blue Jays had the game in complete control. And then around the 4th, things really changed. It actually changed in one specific moment. When Aaron Judge hit that 3-run home run that hit the left field foul pole, tying the game at 6, Yankee Stadium simply erupted. And from that point on, it seemed to flip a switch, and the crowd seemed to be celebrating, even though the game itself was tied at that point. From that point on, the Yankees poured it on, grinding out 3 more runs, taking the lead and taking the game 9-6. Within this stadium, it seemed like the crowd thought that the win was inevitable. The confidence really shot up for the Yankees, and the Blue Jays are really having a tough time because we know it can be tough to play in the Bronx.
Certainly. Do you have any insight into how the Jays are feeling in the wake of this loss?
Well, certainly last night was tough. I mean, when you look at that home run from Judge, it was on a 100-mile-an-hour fastball that was inside. Manager John Schneider says he can't believe that Judge managed to get his bat on it, let alone get it out of the park. But what they're experts at doing is they can turn the page. They know that things like this do happen in the game, and it's what they've done all season. The Blue Jays have been a great team at bouncing back. They know that sometimes the bounces don't go your way. Sometimes the other team has a big night, but they didn't become the American League East champions by, sulking and carrying that into the next day. They are strong at what they do, and they look like they're taking things easy. A few of them took the field a little while ago. They're warming up, and they'll be ready once 7 o'clock rolls around.
So tell me about the mood today. How has it changed from what you were getting yesterday before the game?
Well, when you talk to fans outside the stadium, specifically Yankees fans, there was nervous energy. They were worried. Their team was down 2-0 with the possibility of being swept, and they were giving a lot of respect to the Blue Jays because the Blue Jays had put up 23 runs in the first 2 games. Then you move forward into the early last night where the Jays put up 6 more runs, so they were fearful they were going to get blown right out of the water in this series. But when the Yankees came back, the confidence came back for these fans, and that's what we're hearing today. Many of the fans confident that the Yankees will take it tonight and then move on to Toronto for Game 5 on Friday. But it all has to happen tonight, and in baseball anything can happen. The Jays could be celebrating tonight, or they could be flying home looking towards Game 5.
Have we learned anything about lineup changes or the starting pitcher strategy from the Jays side?
Well, Louis Varland will be starting for the Blue Jays, but he's not going to be acting in a typical starting pitcher role. He pitched in the series twice so far, and he is likely going to go a couple of innings. The idea is going to be a bullpen day for the Blue Jays, meaning they're going to use a lot of arms out of their bullpen and hope to keep the Yankees off balance, which is something they have done so far in the past recently against the Boston Red Sox, and the Blue Jays managed to win that game 6-1 in the regular season using their bullpen to be its most effective. Now, on the other side, the Yankees are starting Cam Schlittler, who has been spectacular of late. He's what has been described as an electric rookie. He beat the Boston Red Sox going 8 strong innings with 12 strikeouts. But the Blue Jays have beat him this season, so we'll see what can happen there. The Jays say they are expecting him to have his best. It will be a tough test.
All right, Sean, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
CTV's Sean Leathong is in Yankee Stadium in New York tonight. And the playoff excitement has also been a chance for longtime Blue Jays supporters to relive some of the franchise's historic moments. CTV's Caitlin Wilson reports.
Buck Martinez.
Every baseball in this basket tells a story, just like the autographed Blue Jays jersey inside Peter Batchelor's house.
We were invited to Rita Hall to visit the Blue Jays in December the 16th, 92. And we met Joe Carter, John Oliver.
From Joe Carter's World Series winning home run.
Winners and still world champions, the Toronto Blue Jays.
To Jose Batista's iconic bat flip. and Trey Savage's dominant pitching performance last Sunday. Blue Jays fans have lived through some unforgettable moments, and this year is no different.
It's the only team in Canada, and I would argue everyone's getting on the bandwagon. It's a way to bring the country together in a very positive situation.
Two-run homer.
With the series heating up, all eyes are on the Blue Jays as they look to keep their momentum alive and move one step closer to the American League Championship Series. The team's success is doing more than filling stadiums and sports bars. It's reigniting a love for the game itself. And local teams like the Ottawa Titans are feeling that energy too.
The more people that get exposed to the sport of baseball and how great it is, I think the more people that will want to play it.
If the Jays beat the Yankees, they're off to the final Sunday. And fans like Peter say the recipe for success is simple.
We'll see where we go, one game at a time.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
Still to come, a Canadian jazz legend honored in style. How Aurelia is getting into the groove with a two-night tribute and a jazz crawl full of surprises. Plus, Lights, Camera, Barrie. The annual film festival is returning soon, and there's plenty of local connection. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Thanks for staying with us. Canadian jazz legend Oscar Peterson's internationally renowned work and influence is taking center stage at the Aurelia Jazz Festival next week with a two-night celebration. The quartet is a must-see for jazz fans and live music lovers alike, a rare treat paying tribute to a true icon. And if that's not enough, the festival turns up the volume with neo-noir jazz crawl, complete with refreshments, atmosphere, and a few surprises along the way, like this one.
It's coming together in a very special way because Oscar Peterson's daughter, Celine Peterson, is going to be here at the Aurelia Opera House telling anecdotal stories about her father's life. I can't think of a piece of programming that we would want more here in Aurelia.
Tickets for the Oscar Peterson Centennial Quartet and Neo-Noir Jazz Crawl are available through the Arts Aurelia website or at the Aurelia Opera House. The spotlight's on Barrie as the city rolls out the red carpet for the 28th annual Barrie Film Festival. This year's lineup kicks off October 18th at Galaxy Cinemas, featuring a mix of local productions, world premieres, and special guest appearances.
There's so much talent here in Barrie, so it's actually not hard to find great work that is homegrown. Have a whole exciting group of films to share with the audiences, everything from rom-coms to intense dramas to even a horror film about all told from a dog's perspective called Good Boy. So lots of great films to enjoy, but we also have some wonderful guests coming to support their films.
The festival runs until the 26th, and seating for each film screening is first come, first served, $12 a pop. Bell Media is a proud sponsor of the Barrie Film Festival, supporting local arts. A tribute to Canadian veterans is taking shape in the heart of Elmvale. A new commemorative Veterans Crosswalk installed today at Queen Street West and Maria Street. Small but powerful addition to the downtown core, one that will stand as a symbol to honor veterans for years to come. It features red maple leaves and a bilingual message of remembrance.
Since moving to Elmvale from Thornhill, there's much more appreciation of our the people that fought for us.
This is awesome. This is amazing. I'm a veteran, and I think this is such a testament from our town to those who have fallen.
Well, I was just so surprised to see it because I had no idea they were doing this. So, yeah, it's really, really great.
The town's inviting the community to come see the crosswalk at a special unveiling ceremony October 15th. People and businesses putting on an ongoing effort to help local seniors were honored at a ceremony last night in Springwater.
It's
been a fantastic few months for weather. People have been friendly for the most part and happy for the most part. And I think that's
The Age-Friendly Recognition Awards celebrated all those who make life better for our aging population. That includes individual people and groups like the Aurelia Thrift Store, working with seniors and using the proceeds to help the community.
People are struggling, so a lot more people are having to thrift, and a lot of those people are older. We also have a lot of volunteers who are over 65. In fact, one of our volunteers is 94 years old. She comes in once a week, and she's fantastic. So we put no limit on age. If you can work for 10 minutes, I can find you something to do.
20 heartfelt awards were handed out, 7 to individuals and 13 to groups, all recognized for their dedication, making life a little easier and more meaningful for older adults in Simcoe County. For information on all our local events, along with other stories, you can go to our website. That's where you can watch news live online and find all our local stories and breaking news as it happens. Just head to ctvnews.ca/Barrie or scan the QR code on your screen. Still to come, we learn some tips and reminders from the Barrie fire about how to stay safe and prevent dangers in your home. But first, let's check in with KC in the Garden.
Just so you know, temperature in the Bronx. Yankee Stadium, Yanks versus our Blue Jays, should be about 18 degrees opening pitch, yes, and just so you know, too, the ideal temperature to serve Dom Perignon champagne, how about 8 to 10 degrees Celsius? Keep that in mind, Toronto Blue Jays. And our weather watcher artiste will have a look. Emerson says, hey, before the game, Case, what do you say we roast a few marshmallows outside wearing our Halloween costumes? I love it. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
We're leafing it to you this week to show us your most stunning autumn shots. From golden leaves to homemade pies, if it screams fall, send it to us. Picture this at ctv.ca. And while you're out there snapping those cozy fall moments, you might want to know what Mother Nature has in store for the weekend. Here's KC with a look at our forecast. KC.
Well, Jack, you say cozy. It's anything but cozy out here. It's chilly out here with just me Blue Jays jersey on. Yes, it is chilly, and good reason. There's a frost advisory for the central part of our viewing area. More on that a little later on. We're below the freezing mark in some places. A couple of degrees. Yeah, let's continue on with a dive into the forecast, and here we go. Batter up, let's go. 11 degrees in Owen Sound, 12 in Parry Sound, 10 in Allison, 10 in Mount Forest, 12 in Toronto. Go Jays. 11 degrees in Newmarket, and called it 11 degrees in Gravenhurst. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the almanac for today. 13 and 6. High and low, yeah, right around where we should be. A record 30 degrees. Back in 1916, that was one hot summer and even autumn. Minus 3.5 in 2001. Sunrises tomorrow, 7:26. That's 6:44. 11 hours and 17 minutes of daylight. Roll that forecast radar for us. A sun run, you say? A sun run? Oh yeah, a home run as far as sun runs go, because it is going to stick around for quite some time. Break it down, take a look at some numbers. Here we go. Southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe. Overnight, yeah, there's a few clouds, but they're clearing out during the evening. 0, we're sitting at 0, and then for tomorrow, 12 and 14, mainly sunny in Owen Sound, sunny skies everywhere else. 12 gorgeous degrees and plenty of sunshine. Frost advisory in the Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill area for this evening. Bring in the tender plants if you could, please. I believe they might already be in. Clear skies, and it's 2 degrees is the warmest it is, or the mildest it is in the area for this evening. 15, make that 12, 13, and 15, and sunny skies for you to enjoy tomorrow. Go to Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, 1 degree and -4. A record, you say? Is it a record? It's not a record. Yeah, -6.4 in 1978, and everywhere except Haliburton, where it was -6.7 in 1953. And tomorrow, not record temperatures, no, 10 and 12, but very nice, beautiful sunshine. Get out and enjoy those fall colors. That's tonight and tomorrow. Now, time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast, and it looks like this. Let the sun run continue. Here comes Friday, 18 degrees, 19 on Saturday, 19 on Sunday, painting the skies with gorgeous sunshine. And there you go for Thanksgiving. There's my turkey waving. Hi, a turkey. 17 degrees, gobble, gobble. Where's my turkey caller? How about the 5-day extended forecast, York Region? Have a look. Friday, 17, 19 on Saturday, 19 again on Sunday. Lots of sunshine, and raise the roof, the turkey says, because we're throwing in a few clouds on Monday and 15 gorgeous degrees for fair skies. This is the 5-day extended forecast. Muskoka Parry Sound almost as gorgeous. Hey, slight chance of a shower on Friday and again on Saturday. Oh, so slight. 16 and 19. That's the high. Sunday arrives. The sun sticks around. 19 sunny skies, riding it into the Thanksgiving holiday Monday, 17 degrees and plenty of sunshine. And we're in a sun run, we need plenty of home runs tonight, Jack. That's what we're looking for. Back inside.
Yeah, you look like you're ready to hit one, Casey. With those sunny skies sticking around for a bit, it's shaping up to be a great weekend to get out and enjoy some local events. Here's Bounce 104 Morning Show, Martin Van Coy with your weekend event listings.
Hi, I'm Martin Van Coy for Bounce Radio, and these are your weekend events for Pure Country 106 and Bounce 104.1. Kicking things off this weekend, it's the perfect way to prepare for your Thanksgiving feast. It's the Thornbury Turkey Trot. This festive and family-friendly event is the perfect way to get moving with all kinds of options for all kinds of runners or walkers. It's happening at the Beaver Valley Community Center, with more details at raceroster.com or thebluemountains.ca. From a trot to a stroll at the fair this weekend is the Elmvale Fall Fair. It's a huge event with everything kicking off on Friday with a school parade. There's going to be livestock shows, another parade, magicians, tractor pulls, horse shows, and so much more, including some fantastic vendors. This event is famous in Elmvale, and you can take in that fame this weekend from the 10th to the 11th. You can learn more at elmvalefallfair.com. Also this weekend is the Blue Mountain Apple Harvest Festival. Happening at Blue Mountain, this event honors the beauty of autumn and the delicious taste of a freshly harvested apple. Alongside all the apple-based fun, make sure you visit Blue Mountain Village in Grey County for a weekend of live music, scenic hiking, cider tasting, local flavors, and so much more. I can picture it now. Warm cider with a taste of local talent. You can learn more at bluemountain.ca. Lastly, the Hometown Harvest Festival is back at Ste. Marie among the Hurons. It's all about celebrating the abundance of the fall season. Throw on a warm sweater and check out their artisan market with more than 40 local vendors. You can grab a coffee in their gift shop and explore this iconic historical site, all while taking part in take-home crafts, meeting their heritage breed animals, and having a go at some hands-on activities. You can learn more at tourismbarrie.com. Those are your weekend events for Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
Now, if instead of all that, you're heading out on the water for the weekend to soak up the last day of the boating season, you might want to take note. Parks Canada has issued a low water level advisory for Trent Severn Waterway due to prolonged dry conditions, limited rainfall across the region. Areas most affected include Lovesick Lake, Sturgeon Lake, Lake Skagog, and Balsam Lake. Levels are expected to drop below navigable range after the season closes on October 14th. And as a reminder, some City of Barrie services will be affected Thanksgiving weekend. Barrie Transit, City Hall, and all recreational services will not be operating on the holiday Monday. Downtown parking will be free for the holiday, but waterfront and marina lots remain enforced around the clock. With Fire Prevention Week underway, it's a good time to take a closer look at how we can all stay a little bit safer at home. Joining us now to share this important tips, reminders, information is Kate Foster from Barrie Fire. Now, Kate, this year's theme, it's all about battery safety. Why the focus on lithium-ion batteries in particular?
Well, we see fires starting from our lithium-ion batteries because typically they're found in common areas and common items in our household, and we're just asking a little bit too much of them. So we're overcharging these items and we're not giving them the space they need, and as a result, we're seeing some fire hazards.
Now, when you say we're overcharging them, what do you mean? What do you mean overcharging?
I know. It's kind of something that not a lot of people are aware of, but when we have our tablets, when we have our cell phones, our laptops, we plug them in, and it's almost like we set it and forget it. We leave them charging for far too long. They're fully charged and they're still plugged in. And so we really need to get a little bit better at, once we see it fully charged, unplugging these devices, letting them rest just like humans need rest.
So if we don't let these items rest, these lithium-ion batteries, once they're fully charged, what happens?
What can happen is they can essentially overheat, and it's causing just too much strain and stress on the actual device. So when they are used too frequently, they can potentially overheat, and then we can cause some internal damage. You can start to see the devices even swell, or there can be even a bit of a smell or an odor to them when they're starting to erode. So we want to be mindful and try to keep them intact as long as we can.
And what happens once they've eroded, once they've worn down, what happens then?
So if an item is damaged and we're still trying to use it and we're still trying to overcharge it, we can experience the hazards that we're seeing, which are our lithium-ion battery related fires. And so those are, like any fire, incredibly dangerous, but our lithium-ion battery fires also move very quickly. And so we really want to try to prevent those from happening in the first place.
Why are battery fires so bad?
Well, they move differently than a typical fire. So there's something called thermal runaway. Essentially, things progress at a rapid speed where we might have 2 minutes to evacuate our homes. In a typical, let's say, cooking related fire, we have less than 30 seconds when these items are at play. So we have to be very quick and get out as fast as possible.
So apart from battery safety, what are some things that families can do today, simple steps that they can use to prevent fires or be ready if one happens?
So being ready is always essential, and the best way you can do that is make sure that you have your smoke alarms up and that they're in good working order. Testing them every month, making sure that they will sound in case of a fire. Also making sure that you're ready by practicing your escape plan. Does your body know where to go if there is a fire? And so these little steps all the time are incredibly important to your safety.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Kate, Fire Prevention Week has been a Canadian tradition since 1922, and Barrie Fire is hosting a free session Saturday for the community to learn more. Kate, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
Still to come, big changes could be on the way for Canada Post. The union's pushing back against changes to how the mail gets to your door. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Recapping our top stories, concerns about drug addiction and homelessness are on the rise in Midland, and with them, fears about crime and violence. Some businesses and people in town say it's changing the place they love and making them consider leaving it behind. Aurelia Financial Advisor is now facing a Canadian investment regulatory organization after pleading guilty to defrauding clients of $1.8 million. 41-year-old Kevin Dowse took money from 25 victims. Instead of investing it, he used it for himself. Several local hospitals teamed up today, holding a job fair in Vaughan, an effort to attract healthcare professionals to the county. It's a competitive market right now, but local hospitals think they can convince workers from the GTA to move up to cottage country. Happening right now, Springwater Township is holding a public meeting to discuss the proposed boundary adjustment. Locals will have a chance to comment on the draft proposal, which looks at urban expansion, environmental mapping, and land Barrie needs for housing and industry. The proposal is part of an ongoing process led by the Provincial Land Development Facilitator to align with provincial priorities. A final decision won't be made until October 15th, giving council time to review public feedback. We're getting a first look at what could be a game changer for downtown Bradford. These are renderings for a $99 million civic center, a multi-use complex with public spaces, city services, and community amenities all under one roof. People in town can look forward to a performing arts theater that'll double as a council chamber, a huge multi-sport gymnasium, and various rooms to host gatherings. Prime Minister Mark Carney's back in the nation's capital after his trip to Washington without any tangible progress on trade. CTV's Michael Couture reports.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is back in Ottawa without a deal on tariffs. However, CTV News can confirm the Keystone XL pipeline was part of yesterday's discussion at the White House.
Prime Minister, did you and Mr. Trump agree to revive the Keystone XL pipeline?
Very good discussions on a wide range of issues, and I look forward to talking to Parliament.
A source with knowledge of the discussions in the Oval Office yesterday confirms reviving the Keystone XL pipeline was raised between the two leaders. The extension would bring Alberta crude into the U.S. It was in the context of more energy cooperation between the two countries, but was also linked to relief on steel and aluminum tariffs.
Certainly, it could be another one of the levers that increases North American energy security, and so it certainly warrants exploring.
South Bow is now the proponent of the project, and while the Canadian company isn't privy to conversations between the governments, a spokesperson tells CTV News, quote, South Bow is supportive of efforts to find solutions that increase the transportation of Canadian crude oil. While a pipeline may be possible, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is dismissing the prospect of an auto deal with Canada. Sources say at a Eurasia Group summit, Lutnick said the Americans could continue buying auto parts from Canada, but that's about it.
Auto pack's been around since the 1960s. You can't unscramble an egg, you have to make the omelet larger.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. On Parliament Hill, Opposition Leader Pierre Poilievre called out the Prime Minister for not getting a deal in D.C. and promising more investment in the U.S.
The Prime Minister went pathetically to the White House to offer a $1 trillion gift, bowing before the President in weakness.
We have the best deal with the Americans, and the third thing that's true is we will get an even better deal because we are...
A source with knowledge of the Oval Office discussion describes it as a very initial conversation to see if President Trump would be interested in reviving the Keystone expansion. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now to expand on that a bit, the Premier and Canadian auto sector members are reacting to remarks made by the U.S. Commerce Secretary. CTV's Siobhan Morris brings us the details.
A comprehensive, collaborative auto deal between Canada and the U.S. not in the cards, according to the U.S. Commerce Secretary. Howard Lutnick made the comments in a closed-door session of the 2025 U.S.-Canada Summit hosted by BMO and Eurasia Group. Sources in the room say Lutnick said Canada needs to come second to the U.S. on cars, that America could buy auto parts, but that's about it.
I would say it's a massive threat when you have the Secretary of Commerce coming out and saying that, and the President, you'd only say it if the President gave him the green light. So we have to be prepared.
Lutnick's words, a stronger version of what we heard from Donald Trump yesterday when the Prime Minister visited the Oval Office.
It's a tough situation because we want to make our cars here. At the same time, we want Canada to do well making cars. So we're working on formulas, and I think we'll get there.
Ontario's auto industry has been struggling under the weight of tariffs and the uncertainty they've injected into the market.
As I've always said, the auto pack's been around since the 1960s. You can't unscramble an egg, you have to make the omelet larger.
The head of the Auto Parts Manufacturers Association doesn't see that automakers with operations on both sides of the border can handle the White House's approach long term.
Are you ready to possibly face bankruptcy, at least on some of your brands, because the White House has an opinion on what types of jobs it wants to see? I don't think so.
In his virtual session, Lutnick also advocated breaking up CUSMA renegotiations, striking separate deals with Canada and Mexico.
They keep saying that they find Mexico easier to deal with, so I think they are probably going to do that. So I think the Canadian idea that we have to hug Mexico on all of these issues, we've got to revisit that.
Doug Ford has pushed for disentangling from Mexico off and on. Just a few weeks ago, Mark Carney brushed off the notion of Canada going at it alone.
CUSMA, USMCA, is strength together. It's strength of the three countries together.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
And while auto talks may be stalling, the markets aren't. Stocks on both sides of the border are climbing and gold prices keep hitting new highs. Let's take a live look at the numbers. The TSX was up 150 points, the Dow was down 1, and the Nasdaq was up 255. In commodities, oil was up to close at $62.55 a barrel, gold was up to finish at $40.70 an ounce, and our dollar was down to end the day at 71.67 cents U.S. The union representing Canada Post employees is set to meet with the federal minister in charge of the Crown Corporation tonight. The union has been on strike since Ottawa announced sweeping changes to overhaul the postal service. While the two sides were negotiating, the union has accused Ottawa of trampling on the collective bargaining process. The world's first billionaire sports player has been crowned. Soccer superstar Cristiano Ronaldo is taking home the title after his bank account got a boost earlier in the year when he re-signed with Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr in a deal worth an estimated $400 million US. He also has endorsement deals with Nike and Armani, amongst many others, to thank. Still to come, the puck's ready to drop. Who's playing and what to watch? The Toronto Maple Leafs open their season with big expectations. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Now taking a look at your primetime lineup tonight, you've got a double block of The Rookie starting at 8 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, Shark Tank and CTV News at 11. In just a few minutes, the Toronto Maple Leafs will step on the ice at Scotiabank Arena facing the Montreal Canadiens, officially kicking off their regular season. CTV's Allison Hurst brings us more ahead of the first big game.
Final preparations are underway at Scotiabank Arena that will soon be filled with fans and their inflated hopes of a deep playoff run.
I'm over the moon.
Life dream, eh?
Life dream.
Yeah, for sure.
George and Peggy Boudreau are here for 24 hours from Nova Scotia to see the Leafs face off in Toronto for the very first time.
We usually went to Montreal to see them, but this year I was looking for tickets in November for the game between Montreal and Toronto, and I just took a peek in Scotiabank Centre. When I seen 2 tickets, I said, get my credit card.
Tonight's home opener, an Original Six rivalry, the Leafs versus the Habs.
I have nothing but faith, right? It's ready to start the season.
Notably absent Mitch Marner, gone to the Vegas Golden Knights in the offseason.
You're going to miss a guy like Marner. That's huge production, over 100 points.
And it broke up the Leafs' top line.
They have not figured it out yet. They've been very open about that. The general manager, Brad Treliving, is looking to add another top 6 forward. But you know what? The playoffs don't start tonight or tomorrow. They got time.
The other player missing, goaltender Joseph Wall, off on a personal leave.
Anthony Stolarz has never played more than the 34 games he played last season, so they want to split the workload. But without Wool, all of a sudden the depth is being tested.
Putting extra pressure on the shoulders of captain Austin Matthews.
Stay healthy, score 50 goals.
At this morning's skate, players feel optimistic.
It's exciting. Clean slate, fresh start for everyone.
Including Matthias Michelli, making his season debut on the wing of Matthews.
Sounds pretty good to me, right?
For these university students, it's a sports double whammy with the Leafs season opener and the Jays playoff game 4.
I think I'm going to be switching the channels in and out, but, you know, I'm here for the Leafs.
And hoping they get off to a hot start. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
Around the same time the Leafs hit the ice, the Jays will be back on the diamond, and tickets have already been announced for the ALCS. Fans can buy tickets for games 1, 2, 6, and 7 starting tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. The first game of the championship series would be on Sunday at Rogers Centre, with Game 2 Monday. The 6th and 7th games would be a week later on October 19th and 20th. If they pull through, the Jays would face the winner of the Mariners-Tigers series. Now it's time to check in with a real fan. Casey Colby out in the garden. Casey.
That's right. I'm predicting 5-3 Jays tonight. We'll ask you yours after I finish the Get Up and Go forecast. What are we looking forward to first thing tomorrow morning? 7 o'clock, sunny skies right across the board. Barrie 1 degree, Newmarket 1 degree, -3, little bit on the chilly side to start things off in Gravenhurst. Sun, warm me up. That's the Get Up and Go. Have yourself a great evening. Go Jays!
Go Jays. That's our newscast tonight. I'm Jack Morris. Thank you for watching. I'll be back on the desk with your news at 11. Until then, good night.